This right here is about to be my top 10 video games list, video game GOAT list, not just video games, the greatest of all time. The greatest of all times means they are either replayable beyond all belief, an immaculate experience that should be and must be experienced at least once, or they are timeless and have aged beautifully regardless of what generation they came from. I'm old. I'm 29, gonna be 30 next year. Okay, this is a personal preference list. So this is games I've experienced, enjoyed, and would play again 100%. There's a few caveats. I am not putting any ongoing live service games, MMOs, or fighting games on this list because fighting games would take up a lot of space on my top 10 list. We'll do a separate list just for fighting games because it's only fair because I've been a fighting game guy for a really long time. No live service because Rumbleverse and RuneScape would obviously be top 2, so it would be very unfair. There wouldn't be enough space for other things. And I also don't want to hear, where's Fortnite? Where's Fortnite? Where's Fortnite? So, no live service. There's no live service games on this list. I have 3 honorable mentions before I move on to the actual main top 10 list. So it's more like 13, maybe even 14, because we might have to like put 2 games on here as one, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Let's start with the honorable mentions before we get into any of them. And my first honorable mention is Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So I guess we have fucking 2 honorable mentions. Both amazing games. They're like a classic Mario experience in a 3D package that hasn't existed again since Super Mario Odyssey, right? Nothing came close. Super Mario 3D World and 3D Land were not good. Odyssey is good, but something about it just doesn't hit the same as Super Mario Galaxy blasting through the canyons, running around through the galaxy. Amazing game. It was so hard not to put it on the list, but they were just experiences I remember more fondly and want to put on the list over this. Doom 64 or Doom 90. I'm sorry, Doom 96 on my brother's computer. Was it Doom 96? Super Mario RPG, does it count as? No, Super Mario 3D World and 3D Land. I'm not talking about Super Mario RPG. Also, Paper Mario is technically 3D. Is it Doom 96 or 95? The Doom on the computer, I think it was Doom 95, because Windows 95, right? Or is it Windows 96? I played this a lot as a kid because we had a Windows computer that could actually run it. Because, you know, I mean, it could run on pretty much anything. And we had a LAN port. We had an Ethernet port. So this was the first game I ever played with other people. I didn't even know what I was doing, how to play it. I used keyboard and mouse because I didn't even realize that, I mean, controller existed, right? Like, you're playing on a computer. I would never do that ever again. I'm going to get rid of this shit. I would never do that ever again. I'm a controller player through and through. But this was my first multiplayer online experience. I think because my brother's friends knew how to hook the computers up together. So I played with some of his friends. Really, really fun experience. This game made me, like thinking about it again, made me find out that I like boomer shooters. Right, I bought Proteus, which is like a more recent boomer shooter. I've been looking at a few more. I tried Impaler Gold, which is a boomer shooter arena shooter that's like a roguelike. Really fun. Super cool stuff. Strafe, right? Sentry. A lot of games that I played that feel boomer shooter-like, I only even thought about again because of this game. Because of playing it on an old Windows computer when I was a couple years old. The funny thing is, the really funny thing about this is I was born in 95. So this game existed when I was born. I just happened to play it a few years later. And people were still playing it too, which was really cool. I wish I could fit this on the list. I love Fable, man. I wish I could fit this on the list, but there's too many games I'd put above it. There's too many games I'd put above it, and it just kept moving further and further and further and further down until it's here in the honorable mention. So I have to shout out Fable 1 for being, once again, another one of those games I actually played on computer first. We played it on an old computer that couldn't run the game so well to the point that I was actually stuck at 30 FPS, and we had no grass. The entire game looked like the snow area because all of the ground was white all the time. There was no ground textures for the grass. The first time I saw grass is when I played it on the 360. Like when I played it as a disc. I had no idea that it was supposed to be grass. There was a quest, I specifically remember, where you have to dig up something out of the ground, and you can see like a little spot on the ground when there's ground textures. we just had to dig in the area for a long time to find it because but it was such a beautiful experience. I love all the bosses. They're very memorable. A great story. The combat for the time is actually pretty good, and there's a whole lot of choice and things to do in the game that you could probably go back and replay it, and it would still hold up as one of the greatest of all time games today. So if Fable is somewhere on your list, I don't fault you. I get it. It's a beautiful game, amazing game. Now onto the list proper, huh? Are you guys ready? So the reason why I actually couldn't put Mario Galaxy on the list is because Delfino Plaza truly fucking calls my name, brother. Look, I think about my favorite Mario game, and I was stuck somewhere between Super Mario World and Super Mario Sunshine. And then I remembered how much I liked Mario Galaxy, and I was like, oh no, there's a trifecta. I'm cooked. And then I remembered the Delfino Plaza theme. I remember the King Boo Ghost Boss. I remember Flood. I remember the Dirty Mario, the Paint Man Mario that just happened to be Bowser Jr. The game was kiddie, was childish in a way that felt non-intrusive, right? Like you could play it as an adult, like you could go back and replay it now, and you wouldn't feel as if like, oh, this story was designed for a toddler and it's not meant for me. It's just a classic game, and it designed itself in a way where there's multiple ways to solve situations with all of the flood types, which I think is really cool. Except outside of bosses where you specifically have to use certain floods or gather the fruits. Fucking King Boo. Anyways, great game. Good level design, especially in 3D platformer in the early era of 3D platformers. And I'm just a 3D platformer guy. I can't lie and act like I'm not a 3D platformer guy. Big fan of 3D over 2D platformers most of the time. Now, this next one, this one might surprise you guys. I don't think anyone even knows that I like Halo. This is the greatest multiplayer gaming experience to ever exist. That's not Rumbleverse. Ever! You cannot tell me that this was not peak console shooter action, co-op campaign, solo campaign. Difficulty modes were spot on. Amazing world design. Good voice acting. God damn, this game was fucking good. Oh, this game was so good. Reach was okay. Like, Reach was good. Halo 4 and Reach are good. But they're not the Halo 3 good. They're just not. They're just not Halo 3 good. Sorry. I don't make the rules. These games, some of the best I've ever played. And we're only like 5 in, right? When you look at the fact that I put some honorable mentions on, only 5 in. Isn't that crazy to think about? Insane. I also have one more kind of Reach on the list. Not Halo Reach. Reach is in. It's infinitely replayable. It was probably the start of a new era when it comes to a game franchise. It opened my eyes more to the franchise, though I had already played it. I could name a few games that I played before, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Freedom Unite, 2, Try. Okay, I say those things, and you're like, what the fuck is Beanie cooking up? This might be the only modern-ish game on the list. Monster Hunter World's fucking badass. Like, there's no denying that Monster Hunter World changed up the formula for Monster Hunter forever, and there's no way they can ever go back. You can never go back. After Monster Hunter World, after Rise, World was the start to this new generation of more casual appeal and casual friendly Monster Hunter that everyone can get into while still having the meta progression and crafting that the old school heads of Monster Hunter will continue to like, right? Like, yes, they've dumbed things down a little bit, but that doesn't mean the monsters are easier. That doesn't mean the set pieces are less powerful. That doesn't mean the story of the game isn't just as campy and original as it always has been in Monster Hunter's past. Monster Hunter is a timeless franchise, but I think if you go back and play World right now, I think if you go back and play World even after Wilds comes out, you're still gonna have a good time. Right? You could like say the same for Freedom Unite, for Monster Hunter 1 and 2, and even Try. I think Try is like a close second for me. I would absolutely kind of put Try on the same tier of World where it holds up really well. It started a new era and it introduced new people to the franchise, but World is my GOAT. World, that's my fucking GOAT. World of Iceborne, that's my GOAT. That's my GOAT. You know, we're listening to Sonic music. You guys all know a Sonic game is going to pop up on the list, right? But you don't know what Sonic game, right? You're like, what Sonic game could Beanie go for? Haha, he's a Shadow fan. He's going to put Shadow the Hedgehog. He's going to do the quote. He's going to say, disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight, isn't he? He's gotta. He's going to make the meme. Haha. No. Actually, Shadow the Hedgehog is my favorite Shadow game. It's not my favorite Sonic game. It can't really be my favorite Sonic game. It's not technically a traditional Sonic game. Though it has a really cool multiplayer. It didn't even make my honorable mentions. It's not a very well put together game. When you go back and experience it again, really not that good. Sonic Rivals is cool. I don't particularly think it's that cool. My favorite Sonic game is actually is Arcade Sonic. Separate VODs. I'm so sad. Oh man. I hate splicing shit. I don't wanna do that. Guys, I think I'm gonna have to edit my first YouTube video because, you know, we had a break in the stream. The stream broke. It wasn't my fault. It was my internet's fault. I don't know why my internet randomly shut off because it turned back on just fine. So if this looks weird, if it looks like everything just cut off and then turned back on, if I didn't talk about Sonic Heroes, it's just a timeless 3D platforming experience with a great gimmick and probably the most campy story of all Sonic games. Especially during this era where they were trying to make Sonic a little more serious when it comes to all of his stories and the plot of the whole Sonic universe. Big fan of Sonic Heroes. Along with the rest of the games on this list, if I don't splice this together, I probably will. I'm gonna have to, right? I don't really have a fucking choice because I want to post this on YouTube. Number 6, I like racing games, but I don't really like too many traditional racing games. It's very unfortunate because I wanted to put Chatbox is borked. Chatbox is borked. Oh yeah, you guys are talking, huh? Alright, try it again now. I'm gonna have 2 racing games back to back because there's 2 different like types of racing games, right? I thought of like Wipeout and I thought of F-Zero, and then I realized like F-Zero GX is the best anti-gravity racer ever. And it's very unfortunate that Nintendo, yeah, I guess chat's just borked, so I'll just get rid of that. Oh well. I don't feel like fixing that right now. It's not like naturally fixing, and that's weird. For some reason, Nintendo refuses to ever acknowledge the fact that F-Zero ever existed, right? They don't do anything to continue the franchise outside of having the F-Zero 99. And that's really unfortunate because it's probably one of the most unique racing games to ever exist, with great anti-gravity tracks, a cool cast of characters, great unlockables, and an amazing OST. Just, oh, Big Blue? Firestorm? Come on, brother. Oh. F-Zero GX belongs here. I wanted to put it in the top 5, but unfortunately a different racing game goes right above it. An Xbox 360 era title. And probably the best Need for Speed game to ever exist. Just going to throw that out there. I know some people are probably underground people, okay? Don't shoot me. I get it. Look, some people are probably underground 1 and 2 people. Big fan of the nighttime life, the Tokyo Drift styled gameplay. I understand all of that. But Most Wanted having that full open world map, daytime, huge customization on the cars, and the police chases. It's either this, or if you want a more arcadey, down-to-earth experience instead of the open world experience, you pick Hot Pursuit. But that's not for me. I actually really like the big open world of Need for Speed Most Wanted. Hey, you know what? Creeper just said the only thing it's missing is the Nissan 350Z. That's actually one of my favorite cars ever. So I didn't know we both liked the same cars. That's cool. Like the 350Z, the Skyline, and the Mitsubishi Eclipse are 3 of my favorite cars to ever. Anyways, that is my number 4. And for good reason. It goes narrowly edges out F-Zero GX, which sucks because I posted my list in Discord earlier, and F-Zero GX was in my top 5. But as you see, things move around a lot and very quickly. And we're all there. You know, it happens to the best of us. My next game on the list. It sucks that I don't know where to put these. I'm gonna put both. I'm cheating again. I'm cheating. I know. I'm cheating again. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to forgive me. I'm a big time cheater when it comes to video game lists. It's so hard to put games above others when they're so narrowly close to each other. If you want less of a narrative driven experience and you really just want the RPG experience, go with Dark Cloud 1. If you want a story and you want a story and you want the RPG experience with 2 unique characters instead of like fucking 5 or whatever the first one has, go with Dark Cloud 2. Both amazing games. Some of my favorite RPGs like ever. I like the world building aspect. I like the set pieces. I really like the bosses and the dungeon crawling. Dark Cloud 1 and 2, especially 1, may not have aged so well, but they're still really good and worth experiencing. Hey, chat finally showed up. Nice. This next one is a somber one, is a sad one, and it sucks because like there was a time where I would have considered this my favorite game of all time, but it gets edged out by the 2 above it. As you guys know, if maybe you don't know, maybe you don't know anything about me, maybe you've never been here before, but there's a beautiful, small, underrated 3D platformer that has every piece of my heart, and I wish Nintendo would stop fucking around and remaster it, because I would actually buy a Switch 2 if they do. The characters are all really cute and cool, and it's an amazing world. The platforming is tight and perfect, and the gimmick of eggs and monster taming in a platformer is actually one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Lots of nice unlockables, memorable set pieces, which is weird because it's a platformer, and bosses. Okay, like Dark Raven's kind of lame. Like Billy goes fucking Super Saiyan at the end of the game, but you know, whatever. Fucking Sonic goes Super Sonic, and Shadow goes Super Shadow, so Billy can go Super Billy. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. It's fucking GameCube platformer. Suck my dick. And it also had local multiplayer, which was really cool. I think this game was like very well rounded for its time. It's like locked to antiquated hardware, and it's really sad that Nintendo and Sonic Team do not want to fucking re-release this game. If you are in my chat right now, you can see my bottom screen, Beanie's egg bombs. That is an egg from Billy Hatcher. If you use Beanie 28 Hatcherilla right now, that is the gorilla power-up from Billy Hatcher. I love Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, and at one point in time, it would have been considered my favorite game. I love all of the worlds, all the characters, and the multiplayer experience. I need to get one of those Emblem of Courage's 3D printed and put it on like a chain so I can wear it all the time because I love Billy Hatcher. I hope it comes back one day. But it's here at number 3, and that's probably as high as it's ever going to go ever again, because now looking at these experiences again and thinking back to them, they're a better overall package and way more timeless than Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. It sucks because once again, I probably would have had this as my number 2 under Billy Hatcher, but not anymore. It's right under one of the best experiences to ever exist in gaming, and I don't think there's any beating that. Wind Waker. Some people would say Ocarina of Time / Majora's Mask together. They'd put those 2 together, right? Some people would say A Link to the Past, or some people would say Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That is like the holy trifecta of Legend of Zelda experiences. No one's going to say the original. No one's going to say Legend of Zelda 2 Adventure Link. If they say that, they're being a contrarian. They're fucking lying. Those games do not hold up well today, especially not in comparison to A Link to the Past. Okay, so those other 2, throw them out the fucking window. They don't matter. Oracles of Ages and Seasons, sure, but then just pick A Link to the Past. Anyway, better game. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker had the open world feel of Ocarina of Time with a giant explorable water map, big, luxurious, fun to explore islands, underwater dungeons, and a story that's as lighthearted and serious as you can get for Legend of Zelda at the same time. It's got an art style that is timeless and aged extremely well, for HD and for the original GameCube release. And after you beat the game the first time, you can play through the game with Link in his pajamas, which is really funny. I think it's a really good game. I think it's probably the best Legend of Zelda game to ever exist. That's my opinion. But some people would probably say it was A Link to the Past. Something about this world, the items, the art style, and the freedom of the open world of sailing really speaks to me. So I put Legend of Zelda Wind Waker as my number 2 game of all time. Which, once again, some people might not agree. I'm going to switch songs real quick. We can talk about the last game. I'm going to put on this. There we go. So, if you guys noticed, there's not a lot of shooting in here. There's only one shooting game. I guess 2 if you consider Doom 95 in the honorable mentions. And Halo 3. I've never really been a big shooting game guy when I think about it, right? So it's going to be weird to see a shooting game as my number 1 game. But it's not just a shooting game. It's a shooting game. It's halfway action. It's the first cinematic survival horror experience, and it's also an arcade shooter at the same time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're too young for me. Okay? This game released in 2005 and recently had a remake in 2023, I believe. I didn't play the remake. I can't speak on it. I've been told that the original didn't need a remake and that the more serious tone they took for the new game isn't good enough. And it changes a whole lot of the core. Oh yeah, it's also an escort mission. Yeah, it's also an escort mission. Yeah. With one of the most obnoxious but easily protectable characters to ever exist as an escort mission in the game. Resident Evil 4. Memorable bosses, amazing world, good set pieces, perfect pacing, amazing atmosphere, likable protagonists. Hunnigan, Ashley's kind of likable. Like she gets behind you when you need to shoot. She crouches down when she's in your line of fire. You can hide her behind stuff. It didn't need a remake, but I like the remake better. Ashley actually gets caught significantly more often in the remake, and you cannot change my mind. She runs off. She gets out of the way. I mean, she gets in the fucking way. Ashley was. Her voice was annoying in the original, and she wasn't as much of a likable character, but understandably so. She's the president's daughter. She should be a whiny bitch. No offense. You know, I like more aspects of Resident Evil 4 original than I do of Resident Evil 4 remake. Ada is not like the bombshell, sex appeal, mysterious lady that she was in the original that she is in the new one. In the new one, her lines are all delivered very flat and apathetic, as if she doesn't care. Not as if Leon is interesting, but everything else is uninteresting. Even when she's helping Leon, it just feels like a means to an end instead of how much she cares about Leon, but nothing else. That's bad acting. It's probably not her fault, the actress's fault. That's probably how they told her to deliver the lines. But it comes off as like a dry character when she was so much more likable in the original. I can't think of a single character, no matter how quippy their lines were, no matter how bad the acting was in the original. No thanks, bro. I'm sending my right hand after you. Your right hand comes off. No matter how bad some of the acting and like one-liners were in the original, I actually enjoyed them more than things I've seen from the remake. Not to mention Resident Evil Mercenaries, a time attack based arcade shooter experience that was pretty much unmatched and unbeatable at the time when it came to an experience that was almost halfway on a rail shooter with the way that you have to shoot in Resident Evil and like this clunky arcade experience all mixed together, rolled up into one. Resident Evil 4, if you haven't played the original, it's like $20 or something. Go pick it up on like GOG or Steam or hell, it's on like every major console now too, right? It was on PS4, it was on Xbox 360, it was on Wii, it's on fucking Nintendo Switch. Go play this game. This is one of, if not the greatest game of all time. And it's so hard to argue otherwise. Whether it be the original or the new one, this is definitely one of the greatest things. Then you suck. If you're getting Ashley caught in the original, you suck. You can have her hide. She stands right behind you. If she's in line of sight of enemies, she actually fucking ducks and gets out of the way. And she sticks way closer to you. You suck. That is a true skill issue. I didn't even need the knight armor on the hardest difficulty to never have Ashley get caught as like a fucking 10-year-old. You're bad at video games. Anyways, this has been my list of my GOAT games. Leave your GOAT games in the comments section down below. This video may take a little bit longer to upload because my stream blew up and I'm gonna have to splice 2 pieces of streams together. Let me know if you agree with my list, if you disagree with my list, would there be things that you move around a little more or a little less? Subscribe to the channel, like the video. You should actually subscribe to the channel if you're here for fighting games, or you know me through fighting games, but you don't subscribe, because you probably want to see my fighting game greatest of all times list, and you're not going to see it here because I'm not doing fighting games on this list, or live service games, so no Fortnite, fuck you, no Destiny 2, fuck you, no RuneScape, no Rumbleverse. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes talking about my greatest of all time gaming list. What's yours? We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out.